Is Channel 8 News at 4:30.
Now at 4:30, flesh-eating fly. Why the resurgence of a parasitic war in the U.S. is alarming for livestock owners amid rising beef prices. Plus, planning for a plea. What one former Trump official is planning to take responsibility for as he faces serious accusations. And abundance of caution. The urgent threat tonight causing students of this Nebraska school to lose access to their email accounts as officials race for a way out. But first, this 4:30 severe weather making its way through Lincoln and surrounding areas tonight. That weather you see here coming with rainfall around the capital city today. These videos captured just outside our station here on South 10th Street. You can see that rainwater slowly building up on the ground. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Jake Coleman. This afternoon's rain, though, could just be leading us into a night of severe storms today and tomorrow. For a closer look at what's ahead, let's get right to meteorologist Dominic Furrow. Dom?
Hey, good afternoon, Jake. Yeah, we've been keeping track of those storms in southeast Nebraska here for the better part of the afternoon. Most of the strong stuff for the moment here off to the south and east of the capital city. Flooding areas of some lightning here. A stronger storm just moved through Schubert just a few moments ago. But as you can see, some of these storms that try and push their way off here north and move through to Beatrice, and then as it gets closer, kind of dies off here towards the capital city. I think all that rain we saw earlier has kind of taken most of the fuel out of the atmosphere for the moment, but we'll have to keep an eye on things as we go forward. Fairly extensive line of storms too, stretching all the way from northeastern portions of Iowa down towards Des Moines, and then here into southeastern Nebraska and northeastern portions of Kansas. So definitely been a busy afternoon. Some more severe thunderstorm warnings mainly to our south and east for the moment, but we'll keep an eye on things going forward. Gloomy though here in the capital city, and your ABC seamless camera temperatures into the 70s here after we took a brief trip to the upper 60s earlier today. But that means severe weather threat here in far southeastern Nebraska, as I mentioned. We'll keep an eye on it going forward. Better chances though for your Friday. We'll have more details on that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Dom. Now let's get a peek at the roads here. Right now, this is a live look at 27th Street and Nebraska Parkway. Right now, traffic looks to be moving pretty normal. I guess you could say nothing out of the ordinary. Well, big dark clouds sitting over the capital city since last night. Sure looks like a storm is brewing there. This video is from citizen journalist Thomas. As the storm is rolling in near you, we want to see it. Once you are in a safe place, of course, take a video and share it with us on our Now Local News app, just like Dennis and Leroy did during last night's severe weather outbreak. All you need right now is to download that Now Local News app so you're prepared. New tonight, Lincoln Police investigating what at first glance looks to be a costly crash. Take a look at this. What looks to be a Corvette ending up the curb after a collision near 84th and Eager Drive. Citizen journalist Brian sending this Now video in. You can see the other car involved in the middle of the intersection. We're making calls to see what may have led up to the accident, and we'll update you as soon as we learn more. Well, breaking now, former Trump official John Bolton is expected to plead guilty for mishandling classified documents. ABC's Livy Rubin has details.
Today, a stunning turnaround. Sources telling ABC News former National Security Advisor John Bolton expected to plead guilty in a classified documents case brought by the Trump administration.
I think he's, a bad person. I think he's a bad guy.
Bolton, a political foe of President Trump after serving in his first administration, charged last year with 18 counts of mishandling classified documents. Law enforcement raiding his home and office. Bolton didn't have classified documents in his possession, but prosecutors accusing him of sharing classified information with two family members, which they allege came through diary-like emails describing his day-to-day experience in the White House. Bolton pleaded not guilty and declared himself, quote, the latest target in weaponizing the Justice Department to charge those Trump deems to be his enemies. But now, in an about-face, sources say he's preparing to plead guilty to one count of illegal retention of sensitive documents and pay a more than $2 million fine. Bolton facing potential prison time under the plea agreement, according to a source, capped at 5 years. And in an earlier statement, Bolton saying he would never compromise America's national security or foreign policy. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Right now, work is paying off in Lincoln when it comes to making the city more family friendly.
For Channel 8 News, I'm Adrian Ward. The city of Lincoln is rising in the ranks of family living. The capital city and Omaha are in a new poll from Storage Cafe that looks at affordability, childcare, healthcare, and education, family livability, and other requirements. Now, unfortunately, Lincoln is in 10th place, pretty good, but the biggest city in Nebraska is marked at 7th. That would be Omaha. Lincoln rounding out the list with its low unemployment percentage and their average childcare costs. Now, commuting around town averages just shy of about 20 minutes. They say that gives parents a head start on family time.
New at 4:30, a suspected scam attack blocking students in McCool from accessing their school email accounts. It's the result of a strict safety measure adopted by McCool Junction public school administrators today. The district says some students have received suspicious emails that pose a possible safety risk. They say they're resetting their passwords and blocking access to all student email accounts to avoid further spread. Right now, the students will have to reach out to the school if they need access to their accounts. And the FBI, alongside a multinational intelligence agency, is warning that Chinese spies are posing as fake job recruiters. The Five Eyes says they're using websites like LinkedIn, Indeed, and Upwork. Their targets are people with direct or indirect access to classified or privileged information. Officials say the spies use a fake job recruitment process to try to extract it.
For the last several days, Nancy and Keith Higginbotham have been consumed by the thought of where their son is.
Every single second you think about your kid, and then you have the flashbacks of when he was 2, when I was breastfeeding him, the birthday parties we've thrown for him.
Higginbotham says she wasn't worried when her 20-year-old son James, who goes by Weston, got on a train by himself during their family vacation in Japan, because he's an experienced traveler. The Alabama family had been in the country for about a week by then. When travel frictions arose, Weston, who is a passionate naturalist, butted heads with his mother over her use of ChatGPT to plan their trip because of the natural resources such AI requires. Needing some space, he decided to explore Kyoto on his own, while the rest of his family visited a nearby temple, according to his mom.
It's not unusual for Weston to blow off steam going to the woods. And just exploring, that's his happy place. When he turned off his location, that was so concerning because it's so out of character for him.
He was last seen on CCTV footage walking alone in the city's Yamashina area on a path that led to a hiking trail in the nearby woods. A typhoon that approached Kyoto on Tuesday brought heavy rains and concerns for Weston's safety if he was in the mountains at the time, police said, though they added it's possible he had already moved from the mountain. Since Wednesday, police have deployed dozens of officers, several police dogs, and a helicopter to search the Yamashina area, with the search scheduled to continue Friday. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
And so much more coming your way tonight, and that includes a scary screwworm. Learn about the resurgence of a flesh-eating parasite, signaling danger for farmers all over the U.S., and how a spread can impact the cost of beef. Plus, all new at 5, flying nonstop. Learn about American Airlines' new route, taking travelers from Lincoln to a big new destination, and why the timing couldn't be better.
476-1093.
Right now, a trouble-causing fly is in the U.S. threatening livestock. Just as beef prices hit a new high, there could be more trouble for the industry. A parasitic fly known as the screwworm, and it has been found in the U.S. for the first time in decades. Experts say it's posing a risk to the nation's cattle. ABC's Rena Roy explains.
For the first time in decades, officials say the New World screwworm fly may be threatening the nation's cattle industry. The Agriculture Department confirming a calf in South Texas is infected with the parasitic fly, which can kill livestock if not treated.
This pest does not cause any sort of a food safety issue. It is not a disease, but simply an insect that feeds on living tissues.
The government is ramping up efforts to release sterile flies and will quarantine the area in Texas where the infected calf was found. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins urging farmers to closely monitor their herds.
I was on the phone with about 50 of our cattle ranchers in Texas late last night. And I said, we're getting the treatments down to you. We've got the veterinarians, we're surging inspectors, etc. But it is now up to you to keep eyes on your animal.
The news comes just days after Rollins downplayed a local lawmaker's warning about screwworm that was detected in Mexico. If the situation worsens, it could have an impact on beef prices, which are already up 13% in the last year.
Now, officials stress the risk to humans is low. There was one case in an international traveler last year, but that person recovered. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Now tonight we're hearing from Nebraskan farmers regarding this big scare facing the livestock sector in our state. Join us right here in our 5 o'clock newscast to hear what they're saying on the potential for it spreading into Nebraska and how they are preparing to handle it. Well, if you bought chicken sausage links at Costco recently, you may want to check your fridge. Jones Dairy Farm recalling certain packages. A production error allowed a small number of pork links to be mixed into the product. The affected packages have a use-by date of April 29, 2027. The company, though, says the issue is not a food safety concern and calls it an isolated incident. Customers can return the product to Costco for a full refund. Now to a closer look at severe weather potential in our area tonight. Meteorologist Dominic Farrar has that for us, Dom.
Yeah, I will say, Jake, with all of the rounds of showers and thunderstorms we've seen recently, it has a little bit of a good impact. Here's the latest update of the drought monitor that came out earlier today. And, we're seeing areas of abnormally dry where we used to see severe drought, including us here in the capital city. So it was some improvement here in eastern Nebraska after we got a good bit of rain. And so finally, a little bit of good news here. Western Nebraska still in need of a good amount of rainfall, and likely more than one round before we start to fix that situation out here. Still got that extreme drought here in that lighter red color, and exceptional drought. That's the highest level of drought that the U.S. Drought Monitor uses there in that darker red patch. In fact, we added a new one, unfortunately, in far northeastern Nebraska. But some at least good news for a little bit. Hopefully, some more of those precipitation chances out towards central and western Nebraska will get them heading the right direction as well. Here's a look at your temperatures, though, across the state. You can see where we've seen showers and thunderstorms really throughout the majority of your Thursday, because we're 10 degrees cooler than the rest of the state right now. In fact, it's 73 here in Lincoln, upper 60s in Hebron and Beatrice. The mid-70s then for Grand Island, and then as you get out towards the west, 80s, even a few 90s as you head out towards the Panhandle. Still keeping an eye, though, on this line of showers and thunderstorms, and this will continue then to move off to the east and northeast as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. And I think for us here in the capital city, we might see another round or two before it's all said and done, but it's kind of running through those areas that we saw showers and thunderstorms earlier here in Lincoln, and not a whole lot of storm fuel left to work with, but those will continue to move off then to the east as we go throughout the rest of the night tonight. It should be wrapped up, though, for any of those late Thursday night plans. Cloudy start to the day then on Friday. We'll have to keep an eye on when this all disappears, because we'll start building instability. Lots of moisture out here for your Friday afternoon, and then heading towards the evening then is where we're really keeping an eye on the chance for strong to severe storms. Then moving up here from the south and the south and west, we'll continue to move northeast. We'll keep an eye, especially this late kind of night chance here between 8 to about midnight here in southeastern Nebraska. A few more models are taking this a little further off to the north, so We'll have to keep an eye on that going forward, but expect a late storm chance here for your Friday and then into the day early on Saturday morning. We do have a flood watch in place for far southeastern Nebraska. We could see a scattered area of 2 to 4 inches of precipitation possible over the course of the next couple of hours. That's in place then until 4 a.m. And as we mentioned, still under that marginal risk of severe weather here in far southeastern Nebraska. An isolated severe storm or two can't be ruled out, but then under that slight level 2 out of 5 risk for Friday, where we could see all severe weather hazards a possibility. We'll have more details on that coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Tom. Now here's a live view of the roads at 48th and Pioneers Boulevard. Still looking a little wet, of course, from that rainfall earlier today, but traffic, well, seems to be moving pretty smoothly. No back there seen in that area right now. Happy today, Lincolnites across the city are going bananas. That's because the city is hosting a banana block party down in the Haymarket area, specifically at the rail yard. The party will start to peel open. See what I did there? Open at 5 p.m. will last for 2 hours. All of this is to prepare Lincoln for the Savannah Bananas, who will be competing June 11th at Haymarket Park and June 13th at Memorial Stadium. And also starting tonight, the city of Grand Island will have their parks full of music, with the first band playing at 8 this evening at Grace Abbott Park with songs from Blue Plate Special. Then almost every Thursday morning moving forward, we'll have a band at either Blue Plate or Grace Abbott. These events will continue until July 17th, with their last musician being Karen Lee. Well, time now for a look at what's trending at KOKNTV.com. Here's Channel 8's Mark Fisher.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Mark Fisher, and we're back with another segment of what's trending on KOKNTV.com. First up, the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office provided an update on Wednesday regarding the fatal crash west of Lincoln on Memorial Day. Authorities said 62-year-old Gay Wah of Lincoln died as a result of her injuries sustained in the crash. Wah is the second to die from this crash, as 18-year-old Ali Al-Assadi was ejected from the Ford Focus during the crash at the intersection of Northwest 84th and West O Streets. He later died at the hospital. The sheriff's office said the Ford Focus was headed south on Northwest 84th Street when it failed to stop at the intersection and collided with an eastbound Nissan Kicks on West O Street. Wah was the passenger in the Nissan Kicks. Also getting clicks, Nebraska's Senator Deb Fischer took a friendly shot at former Alabama football head coach Nick Saban on Wednesday during his testimony in support of a college sports bill. While Fischer was on the mic, she asked Saban about his record against the Nebraska football team during Tom Osborne's tenure as head coach. After agreeing with Fischer that Osborne was the best, Saban went on to tell a story about the first time the two coaches went head-to-head in the 90s.
If I could have just one follow-up question when you talk about historic matchups, could you explain to us your lack of wins against Coach Osborne's Cornhuskers?
You can read about these stories and much more on our website at KLKNTV.com, but for now, we'll see everybody tomorrow with more trending stories.
And happy tonight, a big one on ABC, Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. Your Las Vegas Golden Knights, of course, taking Game 1 in the series in dramatic fashion, rallying from a 2-goal deficit in the first period. The Hurricanes are hoping to rekindle that magic for the home crowd tonight. It all gets underway at 7 right here on Channel 8. Make sure to tune in after the game for highlights as well. And up after the break, a Husker talent getting a shot at the crown. Sports director Nate Johnson tells us about the big award this Nebraska baseball star is up for and what it means for Husker Nation. Plus, all new at 5, New Purpose. We'll tell you about a new housing project coming to Lincoln and how it is set to open doors for specific community members. Stick with us. Nebraska baseball star closer Jay-Sean Unger announced as an award finalist today. Unger has been named one of 14 finalists for the Stopper of the Year award, which is presented to the nation's top relief pitcher. Unger certainly deserves to be in that conversation. For today's, let's check in with Channel 8 Sports Director Nate Johnson. Nate?
Hey, thanks, Jake. Yeah, Jay-Sean has been a force for Nebraska, was a force all season, and is fifth nationally with 13 saves on the year, which is tied for third most in a season by a Husker pitcher in program history. Pretty impressive. Unger posted a 6-1 record and a 4.05 ERA in 40 innings across 25 relief appearances, while striking out 39 and limiting opposing batters to a 203 batting average. Now, this is the 21st annual National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association Stopper of the Year Award. The 2026 NCBWA winner will be announced during a news conference at the College World Series on June 12th at Charles Schwab Field, of course, in Omaha. And what a season it was for Unger, though. And when he took the mound, just had a certain aura about him up there, pitched with some fire, and really exciting to watch. We'll see you back here in the Sports Zone for a whole lot more sports talk later today. For now, though, Jake, will send things back over to you.
And Game 2 of the NBA Finals set for tomorrow night, of course, right here. You guessed it, on Channel 8. The Spurs look to even that series, while the Knicks hope for a commanding 2-0 series lead heading back to New York City. Tip-off is set for 7:30 right here on Lincoln's own ABC. Now it's time for one last look at what could be facing in some severe weather potential on the night. Dom, over to you.
Yeah, Jake, we could see another storm or two that goes severe, but for the moment, light rain showers in the capital city. We'll see how much this can actually even make it to the ground. Better chances for severe weather off to our south and east, but as you mentioned, we'll keep an eye on that going forward, because likely this storm just to the north of Fairbury going to continue to move off then to the north and east. But as we've seen so far, that rain that we saw during the lunch hour here has kind of sapped most of the energy out of the atmosphere, but I don't think that completely rules us out of a few chances for showers for the next couple of hours. Temperatures are going to linger around here into the 70s, then down into the mid-60s for your overnight lows. A better shot at the 50s as you head out towards the west. For your high temperatures tomorrow, then back into the upper 80s. A few spots may even see the lower 90s where we can get a little more sunshine. That morning cloud cover is something just we're keeping an eye on here in Lincoln. I think that might keep us out of the 90s here for your Friday forecast. Storms very late Friday into early Saturday morning. Plenty of sunshine as we head into the weekend. Another shot then at a chance for storms as we head towards Sunday afternoon.
All right, thanks, Dom. Now to look at some Lincoln roads. One last time, you're taking a live look here at 17th and O. Well, traffic seems to be pretty empty for the time being. That's a good sign to see. Well, that'll do it for Channel 8 News at 4:30. Rod Fowler is going to join us up next along with our team of reporters and now citizen journalists at the top of the hour here. Stick with us.
Come see us at our new South Point.
trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News at 5.
Now at 5, cattle concerns.
Now that it's here, we do have to deal with it.
A parasitic fly making its return to the U.S. How Nebraska's cattle industry is preparing for the new world screwworm, then soaring to new heights.
I like to say Lincoln is now one stop from the world.
A major airline opening its terminals in the capital city, what the newest addition means for your next trip. Plus, from flowers to foundations, an old Lincoln relic becoming new housing. How the project could help more first-time homebuyers put down roots. And miner mania.
It's real power. It's in terms of power, there's really nothing like it.
President Trump inking in new support for coal-fueled power, while the multi-million-dollar deal could revive a long-forgotten source of energy. We begin tonight with a severe weather threat looming in the region. It's been putting a damper on some summer fun, from pool closures in Crete to football camp cancellations in Waverly. The rain has forced some plans to change across the area. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Rod Fowler. It's been a damp day across much of the viewing area. At least we're getting some much needed rain, right? Let's take a live look outside. This is the Telegraph District right there east of downtown through our Allo camera. As you can see, the rain has pretty much stopped. It actually brightened up a bit for a while this afternoon, but it sounds like severe weather could be around the corner for some. Let's check in with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro. Dom?
Yeah, hey, good evening, Rod. Still keeping an eye on the chance here in southeastern Nebraska for an isolated severe storm or two tonight, but better chances certainly heading our way here for Friday. Starting out quick with the radar here, as we see light showers trying to move through Lincoln at the moment. I know those storms we saw close to the lunchtime hour today kind of really sapped a lot of the energy out of the atmosphere, but they're still trying out there. You could see a few more sprinkles before it's all said and done. Better chances for severe weather, though, mainly to the south and east of the capital city. Just south of Beatrice there, a good storm in northeastern Kansas, and now some storms trying to move their way into northwestern Missouri. So we'll keep an eye on that going forward. Flooding, though, certainly a possibility, as we've seen multiple rounds of plenty of rainfall here, and especially in Lincoln. I know trying to drive into work today, ran across a couple of puddles myself, but we do have a flood watch in place until early Friday morning. This expires then at 4 a.m. on Friday, with then plenty more rounds of weather possible as we head towards Friday afternoon. Quick look in Beatrice here, Shones roofing camera. Wet streets out there as they head home here in the Beatrice area, and we'll keep an eye then on what those storm chances look like going forward. But much cooler where those showers have moved through much of the afternoon. Upper 60s, low 70s in southeast Nebraska. Still in the 80s, though, as you head out towards the west. We'll likely stick around here in the lower 70s going forward, and then ultimately on the way then to the upper 60s and mid 60s for your overnight lows. We'll talk more chances of severe weather here for your Friday coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Dominic. When stormy weather rolls into your neighborhood, we'd love to see what you're seeing. Just scan the QR code to download the Now Local News app and use it to send us your photos and videos. We're going to pay you to do it, and you can also help show others what's going on in your area. Well, right now, a new potential threat has found its way back to the United States. For Nebraska's cattle industry, the concern is about a fly and what could happen if it spreads. Right now, it's been detected in Texas, but producers across the country are paying special attention. Now, that fly typically harms cattle and other animals, but this isn't the first time the country has dealt with it. Our Jake Homan joins us now and is talking with Nebraskans on this potential scare. Jake?
Yeah, hey, good evening, Rod. It's called the New World Screwworm, and the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Agriculture says it was found yesterday right down here in South Texas, just about 50 miles northwest of the border. Now, it's the first time it's been discovered, though, in the state since 1966. And, well, this could have a major impact on Nebraska because, as we know, it's the largest beef-producing state in the country and the second largest cattle-producing. Today, though, we're hearing from Nebraskans, farmers, of course, on the potential for this spreading.
Pay attention to business, gather facts.
Right now, a new potential threat has reemerged for the cattle industry. The U.S. Department of Agriculture reporting the New World Screwworm, a parasitic fly, was detected on U.S. soil for the first time in 60 years. It typically feeds on livestock. It was found in South Texas Wednesday, but now this causes for concern for cattle ranchers and farmers, especially in Nebraska. Nebraska is one of the top meat and cattle producing states in the country, to which John Hansen, the president of the Nebraska Farmers Union, says they knew this was coming, but it could have huge impacts.
And so anytime there's a threat to our beef industry, it's going to have not only a huge economic impact for beef producers, but all of those kinds of impacts all have downstream impacts.
Organizations across the state all weighing in. The Nebraska Farm Bureau stating it is not time to panic, reading in part, quote, "Now that the New World screwworm has been found on U.S. soil for the first time in 60 years, it is time for diligence, not fear." The Nebraska cattlemen also sounding off, advising ranchers to stay calm, reading in part, quote, "Although the only confirmed case in the U.S. at this time is in Texas, Nebraska producers should remain vigilant and report any cases immediately. We have eradicated this parasite before, and we will again." But also right now, Hansen feels this could cause another problem for ranchers, as the state is seeing the lowest cattle herd in 75 years, but is confident this parasite can be defeated again.
This provides an additional challenge to us as we're trying to rebuild the herd. Now that it's here, we do have to deal with it. So let's be about it. Let's be paying attention to business and doing what we need to do at the right time.
And Jake, you were telling me USDA officials seem confident that they can contain this?
Yeah, well, they say this is a very different situation than the last time the screwworm reached the U.S. in the 1960s, of course. Federal officials say they've been preparing for this possibility for more than a year and have already deployed millions of sterile flies to that area.
If we all work together and follow animal treatment and the movement restriction guidance, there is no reason to believe that this incursion will result in any sort of establishment of the pest.
So the USDA is reassuring everyone by saying there's still only one confirmed case in the country as of now. All they ask for is to keep a close eye on your herd. For now, reporting here in studio, Jake Coleman.
All right, good explanation of all of that. Thank you so much, Jake. In other news now, a new chapter taking flight at Lincoln's Airport as American Airlines officially touches down here in the capital city. The airline celebrating its first day of service in Lincoln today with new nonstop flights to Dallas-Fort Worth, daily service to Chicago, and seasonal service to Phoenix, which will be starting this winter. Airport leaders and American Airlines officials marking the occasion with the ribbon cutting this afternoon. The airport says Dallas has long been one of Lincoln's most requested destinations, with about 150 people already traveling between the two cities each day. Leaders say the new routes will give travelers more options and keep more business travelers flying out of Lincoln.
With our service to Lincoln, we now connect Lincoln to 350 destinations in over 60 countries. I like to say Lincoln is now one stop from the world.
Officials say the new service is expected to have a major economic impact with direct access to American Airlines' global network. The airport says this summer will be one of its busiest ever, with seat capacity up more than 65% from last year. Developing now, President Trump stepped up investment in coal, doubling down on the fossil fuel industry. The president making a historic announcement today, investing $700 million into revitalizing America's coal industry. Critics, though, warn it could increase air pollution. Channel 8's Meg West joins us from the newsroom with how the president says this will secure American energy. Meg?
Yes, good evening, Rod. U.S. coal plants are about to get a big financial boost, reviving a declining energy beat out by demand for other energy sources. The president saying that this move will drive down energy cost and the price of living for all Americans. Here are the main points from the president's coal package. He says $425 million will go to 13 existing coal-fired power plants in 10 states. They're going to use that money to fund some upgrades, $200 million for building new coal plants and restarting some others. And then $75 million for a coal export terminal in Oakland, California, to ship coal from western states to overseas markets.
It's real power. It's in terms of power, there's really nothing like it. You have so many different alternatives. They talk about some, but there's no real alternative. These actions will support over 14,000 jobs and save the American people $50 billion in electricity costs.
The administration sharing this image on X today after the president announced the initiative that it will create thousands of jobs, save consumers $50 billion in energy costs, and keep electricity prices low. Now, while the administration is highlighting the job creation and lower energy costs, there are critics out there who are worried about the cost to the environment, such as pollution. In the newsroom, Meg West, Channel 8 News.
Thank you, Meg. Stay with us. We have plenty more coming up after the break, such as damage assessment. A mechanical failure sparks a fiery scene in Lincoln. While crews say the owners fought the fire themselves before it flared back up and the costly damage left behind. And all new at 6 o'clock, making progress. A new drug aimed at combating cancer showing promising results during trials. What encouraging signs have been seen during those tests? We'll be right back. New at 5, a familiar Lincoln landmark is getting a new life. The former Azalea Land floral property in South Lincoln is being transformed. The goal here, build more affordable housing. Neighbor Works Lincoln is behind the renovation of the nearly 3-acre property there at 37th and Prescott. Plans call for 18 affordable homes for first-time buyers. Project leaders say low interest financing is helping keep the cost down, which in turn is making home ownership, in this case, more affordable. Right now, Lincoln police investigating what at first glance looks like be a costly crash. Take a look at this. What looks to be a Corvette ending up on the curb after a collision near 84th and Nebraska Parkway. Citizen journalist Brian sending this into the Now Local News app. You can see the other car involved in the middle of the intersection. We are making calls to see what caused the accident. We'll update you as soon as we learn more. We are learning more on that motorhome that went up in flames yesterday in Northwest Lincoln. LFR says the owners were driving on Interstate 80 when a mechanical failure sparked a fire in the engine compartment. Well, they pulled into Shoemakers there and tried to put the fire out with extinguishers, but the flames flared back up again, and fire officials are now estimating the motorhome was worth about $175,000 with an additional $15,000 in contents destroyed. Nebraska baseball's star closer Jay-Sean Unger was announced as an award finalist today. He's been named one of 14 finalists for the Stopper of the Year award, which is presented to the nation's top relief pitcher. Unger certainly deserves to be in that conversation. For the latest, let's talk to sports director Nate Johnson. Nate.
Yeah, hey, thank you, Rod. Yeah, Jay-Sean was a force this season for Nebraska and is the fifth nationally with 13 saves this season, which is tied for third most in a season by a Husker pitcher in program history. And Unger posted a 6-1 record and a 4.05 ERA in 40 innings across 25 relief appearances while striking out 39 and limiting opposing batters to a .203 batting average. Now, this is the 21st Annual National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association Stopper of the Year Award. The 2026 NCBWA winner will be announced during a news conference at the College World Series on June 12th at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha. A great season, though, for Unger, who, when he took the mound, he had a certain aura about him when he pitched up there. Had a little fire, so it was really exciting to see that award for him as a finalist. We'll see you back here in the Sports Zone for more. For now, though, Rod will send things back over to you.
Thank you, Nate. And tonight on Channel 8, the pressure is on in the Stanley Cup final. The Carolina Hurricanes enter Game 2, trying to avoid digging themselves into a bigger deficit against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Coverage begins with the puck drop at 7, followed by Channel 8 News at 10 o'clock.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro.
And as Rod had mentioned, we were getting some good rain out of these showers and thunderstorms throughout the afternoon here, although it might not seem like it here on the gauge for Lincoln, close to half an inch of the Lincoln Airport. But as you can see, this kind of blue streak went right through the southern half of Lancaster County. I'd certainly believe we got closer to an inch here at the station. I'll have to go and check out the rain gauge here in between shows. But look at some of these rain totals. Nebraska City, almost 3 1/4 inches of rain in the last 24 hours. There's a reason we have that flood watch in place. An inch in Beatrice, almost an inch and a half in Hebron, and close to an inch as well in York. So lots of much needed moisture here still in southeast Nebraska. Even though we've seen some improvement in the drought monitor, we'll take whatever we can get. The majority of this confined into far southeastern Nebraska, but we've seen a few showers and thunderstorms for far north central Nebraska too, and a little bit snuck its way out towards the south and west. There, McCook with 3/4 of an inch. So you know, they'll take the moisture. So always at least some good news there. Quick look here in the capital city at your Honda of Lincoln camera at South 27th and Yankee Hill Road. Looking off to the south and east, looks like we have some wet roads here for the evening commute, and definitely cooler where we've seen those showers throughout the afternoon. Still looking at temperatures here in the 70s, a few spots still in the upper 60s, but the rest of the state definitely on the warmer side here. It's low 80s in McCook, upper 80s in Ogallala, and still 90 degrees out in Scotts Bluff. But as we take a closer look here for our area in southeastern Nebraska, temperatures are definitely on the cooler side, at least compared towards the west. So here's a look at the satellite and radar. We're continuing to see these showers move off then to the north and east throughout the rest of the evening here and into the overnight hours. We'll see how long this can kind of stick around, kind of running into some more stable air after all of that rain fell earlier today, and it's kind of sucked the life out of a lot of these storms. But some light showers here for the capital city. We'll keep an eye here just to the south and west of Crete as that continues then to move off to the north and east. Could maybe see that here in Lancaster County too. But here's the second wave then of severe weather that's on the potential side for today out towards the Panhandle here. This will continue to move then off to the east over the next couple of hours. So as things wrap up here in southeast Nebraska over the next hour or two, we'll see then the potential for a few strong to severe storms in north central Nebraska and northwestern Nebraska and portions of south central South Dakota. That ultimately leaves us though to a cloudy start to the day here in southeast Nebraska. I think or rain chances wrap up here probably about the time for the 10 o'clock show tonight, and then we'll slowly see that cloud cover dissipate as we go throughout the afternoon on Friday. That does set us up then for the potential for some stronger storms as we go through the evening. Now, we're going to see lots of moisture in the atmosphere tomorrow, too. We're talking dew points in the 70s, and we'll see that then the storms finally take advantage of that here as we head towards probably 8, 9 o'clock, and that will continue then through your Friday evening. So chances for scattered severe storms, a possibility in far southeastern Nebraska, mainly south of the I-80 corridor here, and continues then to about midnight, 1, maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for from some of our southern counties, then ultimately wrapped up there as we head into closer then to sunrise on Saturday morning. Looking ahead then to your flood watch tonight. Still got a handful of counties here under that watch until 4 a.m. and we'll see then mainly that shift for severe weather turn then towards again north central and northwestern Nebraska the rest of the evening. But for tomorrow, we are under that slight level 2 out of 5 risk here in southeastern Nebraska and for portions of south central Nebraska as well. All hazards on the table. 1 to 2 tornadoes can't be ruled out. We're talking hail, potentially 2 inches in diameter or larger in the strongest storms. So not everyone's going to see that, but in the strongest storms, that's certainly a possibility here in southeastern Nebraska, as well as the potential for damaging winds upwards of 75 miles per hour. And again, in the strongest storm. So good idea to be weather aware as we go throughout your Friday evening and into early Saturday morning. Tomorrow, though, temperatures on the warm side, upper 80s, low 90s, combined with those dew points in the 70s. It's going to be hot and humid out there. Still looking at the 90s then for Saturday, and then we'll be back down into the lower 80s with another chance for showers and thunderstorms as we head Sunday into Monday. Next week, though, Rod, it's looking hot out there. Temperatures in the 90s, 97 on Wednesday. The dew points likely going to be up there, too. Could see a few heat index values close to the triple digits. Definitely looking like summer out there as we head into next week.
And a chance to dry out. All right. Thank you, Dominic. Stay with us. We have plenty more new content coming your way, including Discovery Day. The Epic Discovery Center is ready to open its doors. How Grand Island's newest destination celebrates its grand opening tomorrow. That's all new at 6. We'll be right back. New at 5, not your average driver's test. Before they can hit the streets, Lincoln police recruits have to prove they can handle the wheel. And as you can see, it's a little tougher than it looks. The department shared a look inside its emergency vehicle operator course, where recruits navigate challenging courses designed to test their driving skills. Officials say the training helps ensure officers can safely operate their vehicles in high-pressure situations. Probably not a bad idea. All right, let's get a final check of the weather with Dominic Ferraro filling in for Rusty tonight. Take it away.
Yeah, Rod, we're still keeping an eye on the chance for a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm out there for far southeastern Nebraska. If you have any plans tonight, just keep an eye on the radar. Mainly looking at showers here for Lincoln, but we'll keep an eye on that area there just to the south and west of Crete as that continues to track off to the north and east. Some bolts of lightning, though, close to the Beatrice area. So again, outdoor plans tonight, best to just keep an eye on the radar going forward. Temperatures will get down to the low to mid 60s, which is a little bit above average for this time of year. We usually see the upper 50s, so not too far off the mark, but definitely above average here as we head into your high temperatures for Friday. Upper 80s, low 90s in a few spots, and dew point's going to be in the low 70s. It's going to be hot and humid here for the close of the work week. Going forward then into this weekend, a bit of a temperature roller coaster on the way as we do see highs then back into the 90s on Saturday. And then we're looking at another chance of showers and thunderstorms then Sunday afternoon into Monday. That will drop those temperatures back down once again into the lower 80s. But as we were just taking a look at a few minutes ago, Rod, it's going to be hot next week as well. So meteorological summer started on June 1st. Looks like we're going to be dealing with the heat here at least through the first half of the month.
All right. Thank you, Dominic. And thank you for joining us. World News is coming your way next, and we'll be back here at 6 o'clock. See you then.
Come see us at our